We live along the back of the power lines, and every so often I think it's the power company, it could be the county, but I think it's the power company. They come in and they cut some of the smaller little trees that have started to grow. But this year they're coming in and taking out this great big laurel oak. And for those of you that are unaware, they're great to plant. You can plant them at 6 feet tall, and in a few years they'll be big, but they don't live as long as like a live oak would. This is a live oak in the forefront, and that's the one I'm talking about in the background. But they can become dangerous. They do get very large, but their lifespan is only, I think, 50 to 60 years or something like that. I'll try to get you a little bit better view. This is on the back side of the fence, obviously. Here's that laurel oak that they're going to be taking down. I don't know how much it will come across in the video, but that's a big tree. And that would have been, by the way, planted by the previous homeowner before I bought the place. He planted 2 of them. There's one of them further down that's actually a bigger diameter, but not quite as tall. But again, these things, they grow very, very fast. But this probably is somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 years old. In my previous house, I had a guy across the street. I hope you can hear me with the chainsaw in the background. I had a guy across the street that didn't have any shade in his front yard, and he planted one of these laurel oaks, and it was the same height as he was, 6 feet tall. And now that tree is absolutely ginormous. The only thing is, with these hurricanes that we get that come through and the winds, these things can be really dangerous. And so yeah, and I understand they gotta tend to the power lines, and if the wind were to get a hold of that thing and push it in the right direction, it would knock out their lines. I hate to see it go, but it is what it is. They're just doing their job. And they asked if they could come inside the fence and also maybe drop some of the limbs inside. It would be easier for them. And I told them, yeah, that's cool, no problem at all. And then they could fish them out. But what they're doing is they've got a guy with a rope tied to the limbs, and this guy right now is taking the smaller stuff down. I'll kind of keep you updated as they go. Here's actually a pretty good comparison also, so you can see a laurel oak relative to a live oak. Live oaks live lots longer. The branches tend to be more wavy as opposed to, you can see its branches go mostly straight up. At least I hope you can tell that. But he's still at it. I've seen him drop a couple of branches down inside the fence. Whatever makes it easier for them to do what they got to do, that's cool. A little more activity, just parting it out. Came close to hitting the fence. He's like, whoa. Parting it off piece by piece, taking their time. Yeah. Looks like they're gonna go for a pretty sizable chunk this time. We got our rope going back. We'll put tension on it here in a second. I think they've got it tied to this second truck. That's interesting. He did like a plunge cut to do the bottom portion of the wedge. I've not seen that before. He's telling him to put tension on that line now. You can see him pulling it. Yep. And there it went. There's a big old hunk. It's kind of interesting. I was talking to one of the guys, and he's, I guess he's got a degree in all this stuff, and this is a live oak. And again, that was a laurel oak that they're taking down. But he said, you notice how a lot of these limbs are kind of dying toward the ends. He said that when a different species tree, for instance, like this laurel oak, touches, in this case, a live oak, it releases toxins to try to kill it. And now that this laurel is out of there, it'll start sort of coming back to life at the ends and sprawling out. But I thought that was pretty wild. I'd never heard that before, that one species of tree will produce toxins to try to kill off another one. And I don't know if this will give you maybe a better idea of the diameter of the base of the tree. It is pretty big. Not tiny. There it went. I don't know why I like watching this stuff. Watching men's do men's shit. But that's the end of that tree. Like I said, sad to see it go, but they got to do what they got to do. I'll go over and take a look at it what stump they left, or what of a stump they left. Well, there's what's left of it. It's probably 3 feet across. Yeah, it's probably 3 feet. That blue stuff is something they put on there, I guess, to get it to start breaking down or something. I'm not really sure about that. Nice round they cut there. There's a big tree. I'm gonna miss it. It's a lot. It provided a lot of shade and privacy, but it is what it is.